Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again. After a short break, let's try to make a simple model as you can see on the screen on the left side. I'd like to maximize it and show it to you. This is a medium level component. This component usually helps us to understand how to maintain the dimensions and how to control the body by the given dimensions as shown in the front view, top view and the right view. Since I have already mentioned this is the front view, top view and the right view, it is understandable that the angle of projection is actually third angle projection. So now while making this model, our main motto is to maintain the dimensions as much as we can and get the model exactly correct. Now we do have a 0, 0 of the model which is located over here. With respect to this, we'd like to start making the modeling. Now we do know the inner dia which is shown here 24. So we can make this whole shape using these as our references and then start working on our model. Let's begin doing it. We'll try to do it using CATIA as our CAD tool, and of course since it's a part modeling model, we'll be working on your part design. Now under your part design, we'll be using simple commands like your pad, pocket, holes, etc. So there's not much complication apart from understanding how to maintain the dimensions. So we'll see that one after the other, understanding this is the front view, I'm taking the front view. Now I do know that this is my 0, 0 over here and the inner one is 24. So over here I'd like to take the 24 diameter circle as a form of a reference, or you can directly take it as a circle and then start to trim off later once you start creating the exact shape. This is 24 for me. Now, towards the end of it, as you can see, there is a straight line and then you can see the shape. As per feature based modeling, you have to remove the material one after the other in this manner. So I'd like to take a block first and then remove the material one after the other. Now let's try to take the shape. This is the first one. I'd like to take it first and then till the corner. I need another reference on the top, so I'm exiting the sketch here. Let me try to give the dimensions for everything before proceeding. This is 40. Now, next is our height. We have a reference over here which is 16 diam. You can take it in a form of a reference or anything. This is 16 diam. On this, we do know that the dimension between this center and this center is 10 as it is shown in the top view. So the distance between this center and this center is 10. Now the height is the overall height which is actually in tangency with the line. So I can give this, the length of the line is 100 and then maintain tangency to the circle. So let me try to take a line over here. I will change it back to your normal one and then try to maintain tangency with this. Now it has to go down straight and then join here. So I can take a normal line and then maintain tangency here and then join it till here. Now here, now it is mandatory that I keep this in a reference format because I'm using it as a reference, and then I'll maintain the tangency here. This is the actual outline of what I require in the model. So I'm just making the outline. Similarly, I'll make the outline here as well. I know the 24, we can use it multiple times, and since I'm only in my pad command, I'd like to use these as my references for later sketches. Give me a second. I'll just keep it in a normal format and then I'll be using these in the future sessions. So once I exit, you'll be seeing the sketch and these two are my actual references. Now, while adding the material, you cannot add when you have points inside your sketch. It will automatically show you that you have open constructions. So instead what we can do is, inside your pad, you can project the existing sketch, or there's another way of doing which is in the advanced level of training. There are a lot of shortcuts, of course. You can join us to know further. I can explain a lot of shortcuts in comparison. I am using this sketch as my reference for all the next steps that I am going to perform. So let's try to make it one after the other. I am trying to remove the material at the moment which is of this shape. So let me try to use pocket, since we use pocket to remove the material, and then start making our sketch. My references are these two, and of course I would require the reference of this center as well, and then I'd keep it in a construction format and then start making my sketch to remove it. Now the sketch I'd like to remove is actually like this, goes this way and maintains tangency with this. Now this arc should actually be in concentric with the circle. That is, the radii or diameter of this is 16. Similarly, we can start giving our other dimensions as well, which they have already mentioned in the drawing, which is 30 etc. and 35 etc. So this is supposed to be 30. Similarly, the length of this is supposed to be 35. And these two are supposed to be tangent with each other. Now the distance from here to here is supposed to be 12. Let me try to give that as well. So it constrains the sketch. Now let me try to close it, or of course you can remove the construction format and use the sketch as well. I'd like to remove this material. Now when I exit, I'm trying to remove the material. Of course I can remove it up to the next, and you can see the shape achieved. Now on this side, you can either give round or you can create an arc cut. I would prefer giving a round of course 8, because it has 16 dia. Now we can proceed a little more further in making our cuts. Now again I'm using a pocket. The second cut, what I'm trying to make is maintaining the dimension is this one. So in line with this, of course, I do have an arc. As you can see, there is an arc in line with this. I'll take a circle and then trim it off, which is of R6. I'm again showing it to you. It's in line with this. And the radii of this is supposed to be 6. I'll just change this to radii and give it as 6. Supposed to be a semicircle. Now, I would require a straight line passing from here, maintaining of course tangency, and then an arc. This particular line again will be in this line, as you can see, which is 30 and then goes down. So I'd like to make the circle first at the bottom as well and then maintain tangency. That's how we can easily maintain the dimension and not repeat it again. From here again it has to maintain tangency and start making the sketch. So I'd like to make the sketch this way, and then these two are going to join in this manner. We do know all our dimensions, so we can trim them a little later. So let me try to make the overall sketch, and this is our overall sketch. I'll give the constraints in a minute. Similarly, I want this and this line to be coincident. Perfect. Now let us try to give the remaining dimensions. The dimension from this and this is actually supposed to be 30. This is very important. And this is again, it's supposed to be of course a vertical line. So we don't have any mistakes there. And the length of this line from the center till here is actually 35. So let's try to give that as well. And we know this, which is at a distance of 60 from the center. This from here till the center is 60. Now, let's try to trim off what was not needed and then slowly constrain the remaining sketch. Take infinite line actually over here in a vertical in a construction manner, and then give all the constraints. A little more easier this way. And this and this are in line with each other. This is your sketch. Let's try to trim off. Again, we do not need this circle, so I'm just trying to trim it off because it won't trim even if you have the circle. And once you exit, it tries to remove that material of the body until the next surface. This is your actual shape. Now you can start, of course, building these ones. Now, while building these circles, while adding these circles, we must realize that the dimension is given with respect to the base. So whenever the dimension is given in that scenario, please do not minus the dimension and take 25, because whenever you attend a tool test, that will become a big mistake and you will be rejected instantly. Instead, what you can do is you can directly take a plane at 35 and then work on this plane. But in our drawing, we do have 5 as well, which is of a different diameter. So let's try to take that 5 as well and start working. In this way, we have maintained 35 as well as 5. So while using a pad command, it will be easy for us to work on. Since we already have our references, it is easy for us to make our sketches, and it is also easy for us to maintain the dimensions without re-repeating them over and over again. This is to be done up to the next. And similarly, there is another addition of material on this plane, which is at 5. Now at 5, we do know the outer dia is 30. So let's try to take that and then give the dimensions. I'll change this to diameter and say it's supposed to be 30. Till how much is it? How much do you want to add the material to? You can select the plane and then say okay, it'll add up till the plane. There are few more additions of material. As you can see, there are two circles as well. Let's try to start with this because it's already maintaining concentricity. Another important thing to understand is it is at a distance of 12.5, so we'd require a plane again, and in the opposite direction, and say okay. On this new plane, we will try to add the material, which is our new plane. Okay, this is my reference as usual, so I'm just using that as my reference. And then I'm trying to make the circle. The circle is of 12. There are two circles of the same dia, so I am taking the circle and saying it's supposed to be of 12 dia. And it should be added up to the immediate next surface, as you can see. Same manner, we have to add it over here as well. So I'm trying to use a pad command, and I'd like to make a sketch on the 12.5. This is my 12.5 on this, and then start creating a circle. While creating a circle here, there are few dimensions which we are supposed to follow. The first one is that it is at a distance of 4 from the center. This is the main thing. And the second one is it is at a distance of 30 again from the center. Once we constrain the sketch, you can again add the material up to the next and then say okay. This will be your simple addition of material. Last but not the least, there are holes. So let's try to give them one after the other. We have a hole command. It's a 2 into 6, which is through. So I'm trying to make a sketch here. Again, I'd like to maintain concentricity for all my references, because later if I change or move anything, the whole model should auto update itself. We do feature based modeling on the basis of that. Similarly, there is another hole here with the same dimension, because it said 2 into 6, that is with respect to this. So let's try to maintain the concentricity again and give up to next, perfect, and say okay. Now, there is also another one which is 16 through. Let's try to give the 16 through as well with respect to this center, and then start giving 16 through. The dimension here is supposed to be 16 and it's supposed to be through, which is already. While following a feature-based approach, the last option is to give rounds. So we can give rounds now that we are done with all the modeling and removal of materials. So I do have R5 given here, over here as well, because I have R5 typical 1, 2, 3 and 4 places. So I'm giving those as R5. Similarly, I do have an R10, which is on the sharp corner. Again, I'll give that as R10. Similarly, I do have R2, which is over here, as you can see. So let's try to give that R2 over here and over here, as well as over here. You can see that there are 3 places which it has the radii. and then give 2 and then say okay. This is your final model with all the fillets and the feature based modeling. You can contact us if you have any queries. We do have an advanced level of training wherein we can tell you how to use a sketch and do pad with multiple options. There are different options in pad as well. When you make a sketch, it need not be one or two sketches, it can be more sketches as well. So when I use two sketches like this, you can also add material only to one rather than adding it to two. So there are various options like this which you can use in the advanced level of training in CATIA. Our details are given in the description below. You can contact us for any type of training and internships. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials. Thank you so much for watching.